Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, February 21st, 2022. Tuesday, February the 21st. It's all right. I mean, we had some interesting events that happened today. We've got Spencer and Trina, they're still in Ava's gallery, and they're kissing, and more kissing. And Trina actually wanted to take things to the next level. And Spencer was the one that stopped her because he says, I don't want to be that guy that took advantage of you. You're vulnerable right now. And in an abandoned art gallery, he's like, no, you deserve better than this. Because she's like, well, why? Because it's my first time. And he's kind of thinking, like, exactly. And he's like, but no, I care about you too much. You're hurting right now. And though, yes, it may be enjoyable, it won't take away the hurt, right? So Spencer exercised some self-control. I was very proud of him with that. We've got Kevin, not Kevin, my goodness gracious. Curtis, he went to the Savoy, got a big expensive bottle and started lugging. And Anika calls somebody and we find out it's Marshall. And Marshall comes and he talks to Curtis and he's telling Curtis, really to forgive Portia. Yes, it was a big deal, but look at he stayed away. Curtis thought Marshall was dead for years, and you've been able to forgive me, you know, and you forgive your Aunt Stella. And he's like, yeah, but this is different. He goes, you thought you were staying away, however need to say misguided, but however misguided it was to protect us from your schizophrenic episodes. Look, that you never had, but okay. So, but this is different. Portia just chose to just lie and let me live in the same house with, he just, no. And in my mind, I'm thinking, you know what, Curtis, you do you. You keep that stance because you kept it with Jordan. And Jordan's lies of omission were never what Portia's lies were. Jordan's lie with the straw that broke the camel's back was with Cyrus Rennell. Remember, TJ had been kidnapped. Jordan didn't tell Curtis. Jordan didn't tell nobody. I mean, Jordan made a mess of that, right? She really did. But that was the straw that broke the camel's back for Curtis. Nothing in comparison to Portia. Nothing. So that's your standard. Stick to it. Just like you lectured poor Drew on what you could or could not do with somebody keeping a child away from somebody else. Yes. Put those words on a plate. Get your steak knife and fork and eat those words, Curtis. Eat them. Right? So anyway, Curtis and Mark, he was emotional. Really so. The man, his world has been shaken. Because he was standing up on top of this pedestal with his perfect pedestal wife with no secrets between them, unlike you, Jordan. Right? Yeah. Okay. So you ain't unlike. So live with that, Curtis. I ain't mad. So then we have, I didn't even show the scene of Curtis and Marshall. Sorry, I did have a picture where he's talking to Marshall, and then it ended up getting teary and hugging his father and all that great stuff. But then we have, Esme went through a lot, everybody. She's still trying to stay away from Ryan in the snow, leaning against the rock. And Ryan's trying to say, look, I'm the one that's going to deliver this baby. You need me. You're mine and the baby's mine. He just, wow. And then Ava shows up with the gun, and that freaks Esme out, right? And so she's like, oh, and she goes, she's getting ready to have her baby, Ava. This is perfect. And then Ryan is talking, and she's like, no. And she goes, this is my daughter. She's going to have our grandchild. He goes, oh, really? Ava's like, oh, really? Yeah, you took my daughter away from me. And I loved Kiki. And you took her from me. And he stands up. He goes, okay, you know what? In retrospect, killing Kiki may have been a bit much. You think? Because you sure aren't sorry about it. You're just saying it may have been a bit much. Serial killer, right? And so Ava is, still pointing the gun, and she's talking about blah, 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 what it meant to me. And Esme, you gotta love her survival instincts. She looks at those two. In labor, she eases herself away, and she goes and runs into the woods. That was so funny. I said, look at that girl. Look at that girl go. Run, Esme, run, right? So she runs into the house, and it was actually touching. She ran right into Laura's arms. That was interesting, right? And so Laura's hugging her, and she's help me, right? Now, the other bit of good news, and this was good news for me. We're all wondering, Austin's gonna be okay, And when the police, because see, Heather orchestrated the whole thing. What was so interesting, Heather is not as crazy as people think she is. She gave Ava the gun, hoping Ava would shoot Ryan. Because actually, Heather's pissed off at Ryan. It's because of Ryan that they're going to get caught. And she told him, she says, Ryan, they all know we're on this island, and we have no way of escaping. So Heather could kind of see the handwriting on the wall, especially with Esme running amok, because they only had a few minutes to get in and out of there. So she's just sitting there like, yeah, okay, it's gonna happen. And then we get Jordan and Mac coming out a hallway, and the warden is there too for some strange reason. They got the warden of the prison from Shady Brook is there. Why, I don't know, because she's going back to Darkham, not Shady Brook, warden. So Heather immediately, hey, I'm cool, right? And so Matt goes to Felicia, they hug each other. And Austin, at this point, before they walked in, Austin starts trying to get himself up from the floor. And he's like, oh, so they help him onto a chair, and he's thinking, oh my God, And so Max says, we need EMTs over here, an ambulance. And Heather's like, oh, you know what? There's no real rush on that. See, that hook, I didn't lace it with poison. I'm thinking, girl, because you didn't have a chance. You didn't have the chance to lace it with poison. Plus, she wouldn't want Esme to get nicked. Come on now, because a nick could kill you. So she's like, he'll be all right. Okay. So Mac is trying to convince Felicia to leave with Austin to get off the island. And she goes, no, I'm staying with you. What about Ryan, Mac? What about Ryan? And he goes, no, I can't worry about you being here. Ryan might find you, Mac. And he goes, that's okay, Felicia, because look, it'll save me from hunting him down. Because see, he's either going to Pittenville or he's going to hell tonight. So Heather goes, well, if Ava has anything to do with it. And Mac is like, what does she mean? Felicia goes, Ava's armed and she's going after Ryan. So Mac tells the police, hey, look, Ava Jerome is out there. She's armed. Make sure you identify yourself as police, okay? So she doesn't shoot you, right? So that was cool. That's happening. And Austin goes, Felicia, can you please ride with me to keep me some company? And she looks at him. Oh, okay, Austin, I will. And Mac's like, good. So Felicia leaves with Austin. They take the launch back. Now, mind you, Alexis now has the full scoop, even though she told Laura stuff was off the record. She phoning it in and told her person, turn the tape recorder on. She just taped all the stuff she knew, right? And Spencer and Trina, because he had a bright idea. He said, I'm going to take you somewhere safe. She didn't want to go to the Metro Court because my mom and Curtis might still have a room there. Well, chick, go to another floor. It's a whole hotel. They won't know you're there, right? And she goes, but I want to get somewhere that I could slam doors. I could scream at the top of my lungs if I have to, if I want to. And so she goes, can't I go stay with you? And he's like, ooh, at my Uncle Sonny's? No. He's like, no. And so he goes, I got just a place. And I thought he's thinking Spoon Island. So they get there with all these cops around and they get the story. Alexis tells them the scoop because she tells the officer, no, they're with me. And so he lets them go over and stand by Ava. And she says, yeah, Esme's on the island. And he goes, with Ava? She goes, oh, she ain't just there with Ava. She's there with her parents. And Spencer looked like her parents. And she goes, yeah, Heather Weber and Ryan Chamberlain, right? Go outside, Kara. Oh, the door. Hold on, everybody. I locked my dog in the house. She's got to go outside. Hang on. So now Alexis is filling in Spencer, and he's worried about, so she's going to have that baby over there? Well, no, Alexis doesn't know that Ava's in labor, right? I mean, not Ava, that Esme's in labor. So Ryan is talking to Ava, come on now. This was the perfect plan. I planned everything. But he was telling her this before Esme left. He says, I sent Esme to that school to befriend and seduce Spencer. Esme is definitely older than Spencer, but she's still not too much older because it's about 20 years. And she goes, so it wasn't Spencer's idea to terrorize me and stalk me. It was yours. And he goes, and it worked brilliantly. I trained her. I taught her everything he's so proud. He goes, I taught her everything she knows. And Esme was sitting there because she hadn't escaped yet. She's like, huh? You just, I like her this way so much better. I really, really do. This is a actually likable character. Okay. Man, they better have, they do need Elizabeth's mother to really, really repress those memories so they never come back. But anyway, but that's not fair to her, but who cares? So Ryan says, I gotta go get Esme, because he realized she ran off. He goes, oh my, I gotta go get her. She's in labor. So he goes to, she goes, don't move one foot, Ryan. And he's still in, no, Esme. She shoots him, but it shoots him in the arm and it looks more like a brace, right? He goes, you shot me. He's still like, ooh. She goes, yeah. It hurts, doesn't it? She says, and now you've lost your daughter. That hurts too, doesn't it? Just like I lost my Kiki. And so he's like, Ava, so he's trying to talk. No, this all worked out. She goes, he goes, she was there to break up, you and Nicholas. Ryan is so proud of his plan. That worked, right? And so she goes, you killed my Kiki. You've taken everything from me. You've taken my Kiki. You've taken Nicholas. And he goes, I didn't kill Nicholas. And she's like, but I did. And I thought, oh, that was stupid. Why would you tell him you killed Nicholas? I don't know why she told him that. She should have said, he's gone, okay, because of you. And she goes, I loved him. And so she goes, and so Ryan is now walking closer to her. And she's looking at him. And she's got the gun pointed to him. And at the end, because he's like Ava. And he's still delusional. Like, come on, you close enough for me to touch you. Come on, it's you and me. Come on. And it shows to me, it showed her pulling the trigger, and there's no bullets in that gun. She may have fired the last bullet. Or they just tricked us when they had her cocking it, that maybe the police are going to come from behind her now. So before Esme walked in, they're all talking. And Laura tells Jordan and Matt that that Heather is Esme's mother. And they look at her and she goes, didn't you see the resemblance? She has my smile. And they're just looking at her, and I'm thinking, for one, why is she still there? Why have they not taken her? Her and the officers could have gone on the exact same launch maybe the launch only holds so many, remember? So maybe they couldn't fit, And so Kevin is talking about, look, you guys have to be very careful with my brother out there. Esme, he considers as a possession of his. And he's going to protect that possession. He will try to kill anybody. And Heather's just watching this whole thing and just thinking like, it's interesting because she's my possession. That's my child. That's my daughter. So I'm wondering, is Heather going to have some other bit of news? Because she admitted to being the hook killer. I mean, she did, she goes, look, just like the cops take care of the citizens, protect the citizens, I protect my daughter. I protect mine. Yeah. So she felt she's, in her right to do whatever she did. Heather has no remorse whatsoever, which is why she shouldn't be going back to Darkham. She should be going to Pittenville. But we shall see how they choose to do that. But that was really very good, that it's all coming to a nice, tidy end. Esme will probably have the baby on Spoon Island because she's in active labor, and they're not going to have a chance to get the launch back. Now they would have to try to take her on it to get her to the hospital, then come back to get Heather and Ryan, because Ryan is about to get in custody. But Ava might just shoot Ryan. But you know what, everybody? Ryan Chamberlain has been within inches of death, right? All the time. He gets shot, he gets and he lays up there in the hospital, and they think he's incapacitated, and he comes out of it and he never tells them he's out of it. I mean, it's the same old thing with Ryan. He is worse than a cockroach. You cannot kill him. He keeps going. I mean, he just keeps on healing and coming back, and is as insane as he always ever was. 100%. But it's pretty good. We shall see. I'm kind of thinking they're going to leave Esme this way for a long time. She'll regain her memories and not tell anybody, because people are going to start to, Laura for one, I can see Laura taking her and the baby in, because that's Laura's grandchild. Laura is absolutely not going to let Spencer raise that baby. She's not. Esme, who alluded to the fact that Esme may get off. Was it somebody alluded to the fact that, what's her name? TJ and Molly alluded to the fact that she may end up getting probation, right, with what she's done. And if that's the case, and I think that's going to be the case, Laura's going to let her come live with her and the baby. Spencer's not going to fight his grandmother. I can guarantee 100%. Spencer's not going to fight Laura for custody because Spencer really doesn't want to raise that baby anyway. He just wanted to prevent Nicholas from having it. So Laura will take the baby, and this is how people are going to now start to get used to Esme being this new version of herself, you know, and she's going to be accepted. I mean, worse villains on soap operas have, you know, amnesia, changed their stripes, you know, got accepted. Look at Lisa Obrecht, right? Obrecht's done some major damage to folks. She really has. And Lisa has the nerve to be mad at Carly. She's mad at Carly because she didn't do the stuff Carly did. Come on. Obrecht's done worse. So anyway, that was it. It was pretty good. I was kind of happy with the action going on. I was checking out Heather and I'm thinking, you got something else up your sleeve. I could tell. It's like I could taste it. Something else is up her sleeve. I'm surprised she doesn't tell people Ryan was the hook killer. He could get in and out of there. And he was. We'll see. Heather's not done. But I got to say kudos to the actress that played Heather. She, to me, has played, well, I can't say the best Heather Weber. The original Heather Weber, she was pretty darn good too. This Heather Weber to me was more comical as Heather. The other Heather was more crazy as Heather, you know, just that crazy diabolical. So yeah, kudos to the new actress. She did the role justice. She really, really did. So let's go to comment corner. Deborah says, Esme's getting away from Ryan and running to the main house and straight into Laura's arms. Wow. And that's why Laura and Kevin need to get custody of Esme's child. Then Spencer will be okay with that. Yes, he will. Wait till Liz finds out Esme is sister to Franco. Yes, she would have been. That's right, Franco's sister. And Cameron will probably visit Esme. This might make Spencer upset and Joss if he's not all up in Dex's business. You know what? Cameron would be the one if they choose to go that route. Well, I don't know. That revenge porn hurt Cameron as well. But Cameron has a nicer heart. And this version of Esme is a better version. So we'll see how they go with that. But they, you know, they've got a lot they can do with that. Dacia says, Esme is Franco's half-sister. Ryan is so delusional if he thinks Ava is going to hook up with his crazy. Susan says, wow. Tuesday's episode was wow. Ava has Mac's gun. She's ready to shoot Ryan. She shot him in the shoulder. Esme ran to the main house. Yes, Susan did an excellent written recap of today. Everybody go back and read that. Great job, Susan. Thank you so much. But I pretty much said exactly what you wrote. So everybody, if you want to read that, is great. Great job. Dacia says she felt like he wasn't good enough for her and just made an excuse for everything. Why? Now she's lost everything. Are you talking about Portia? Portia felt she wasn't good enough for her. Trina wasn't good, or what? Curtis wasn't as good enough for a father for Trina. And then she goes, now she's lost Curtis and Taggart. Portia felt he wasn't, or maybe she felt Spencer wasn't good enough for Trina. And she's made excuses for all of her actions. I mean, she's just a liar. Lady Lara Black says, I'm glad you're getting better. Me too. You could tell I still look cloggy, right? I like your recaps. Hope Austin and Esme will be okay. The honeymoon is definitely over. Love your comment of Mac when Laura said, you have a map of the island? And Mac says, with the Cassidys, what they've done over the years? And then Laura said, yeah, fair enough. She sure did. Like, yeah, you should have had one, right? And then LaShunta said, put Ryan back in Pentonville. Remember, Cyrus had him stabbed. Yep. He was going to tell Sonny Julian knew about Wiley. So Cyrus did have Ryan stabbed. LaShunta says, Alexis put it together. Heather Weber is the hook and Esme's mom. Spencer wants Trina to forgive her mom, but he wouldn't forgive his dad or Ava. Curtis thought the grass was greener on the other side. She threw Jordan under the bus. She sure did. She said she would not have told. Jordan was just trying to tell Portia to tell. Stella will tell him. I knew Heather would double cross Ryan. Poor Austin. Felicia, my girl, that's why Ryan hates her. Ryan does hate Felicia. She is. But they were good. She and Ava showed no fear where Ryan was concerned. They really did not. They actually didn't really have too much fear where Heather was concerned. Esme ran. Ava can't help herself. Heather kidnapped Carly and hid in the tunnels. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Ryan always gets the best of Kevin. He sure does. Laura and Kevin need to get that baby. Esme's in labor. Anita says, Trina and Portia at this point, Trina will have to count her blessings. Whatever happens in the future, she has a bio dad and a stepdad. That's not the worst. Curtis needs to get over his pompous attitude, his secret with Miss Wu and the club. Yeah, I know he's carrying a secret. Cindy says when they knocked out Ryan, they should have taken the gun. But you know what? They didn't really knock him out. She just knocked him down. I was thinking, why don't they go kick the gun? But then watch, he would have grabbed somebody with that one arm, right? That one good arm. Anna Rihanna says, so when Curtis asked Portia, was she ever going to tell him? She said, probably not. I thought at least she told the truth about something. I know exactly what you mean, Anna Rihanna. I hope Austin lives. The hook is a crappy end for him. So much talent lost. Spencer was being what Trina needed. They are loved up to this bump. They are loved up to this bump will bring out the best in each other. I don't understand loved up to this bump. Portia threw Jordan and Stella under the bus real quick. Esme is killing it. She sure is. So the water broke and Daddy is here. Reminds me of The Shining. Honey, I'm home. Susan says, yeah, it was creepy. Cindy says, they stood around talking while Austin was lying, dying, and bleeding out, right? Even when Heather told Ava and Felicia to leave, they stood around talking and, trying to debate, are we leaving or should we try to drag him? Should we go to the, they did, there was no urgency, no sense of urgency, right? And goodness knows the last person I'd want to deliver my baby is Ryan Chamberlain. And then Susan said, neither did Esme. And she ran back to that main house to tell the authorities where Ryan and Ava are. Good thing for Esme that she did not see Ava shoot Ryan. Although she may have been relieved. Patricia says, if Austin dies, I think he will, but if he does, no, I don't think he will. But if he does, he'll probably come back. He will not come back as Nicholas Cassidy. Roger Hayworth does not even fit Nicholas Cassidy. Wouldn't either do the last Nicholas, but whatever. Heather is the hook. I don't think anyone else is. No, they're kind of tying it up to just being Heather, which, let's face it, that wasn't really the way it was. She didn't have the time to put the poison on the hook, so Austin has a chance to live. Trina Cassadine sounds good. Glad you're feeling better. Prayed for you and love your recaps daily. Thank you so much, Patricia, for your prayers, right? Thank you. Lisa said, there's no way the actor who played Austin will come back as Nicholas Cassadine. I don't see it, neither do I. I don't think Heather had the time to poison the hook. She probably got it from Nicholas's stable. I think Austin will be fine. Susan said, I haven't thought about Roger Howard coming back as Nicholas, but it looks like he will survive. He was unconscious. He was conscious again, and they took him in the ambulance. Yep, and he requested Felicia to keep him company. I bet they will come back and take Esme to GH as well. She may have the baby at the main castle, but she and the baby will go to GH. Yeah, she will be shocked to hear that Heather is her mother, which may make sense since Heather tried to befriend Esme before they escape like a mother bear. Yeah, Esme doesn't know yet. And then DB says, I think I read Portia may be pregnant. I'm tired of her. She probably is going to be pregnant. Probably is. And then Casey says, I love your daily recaps, lady. I love your recaps, daily recap, lady. You always make me laugh. Thank you. Once I get better, then I'll make you laugh even more. Sandy says, thanks for the recap. Jane says, I love Trina and Spencer, that, they are together. And Michael says, Curtis is still still keeping his same energy towards Portia. I can't see how he forgives her. Portia never considered his feelings. I hope Curtis doesn't put any blame on Jordan. Spoon Island is a mess. Will Austin survive the hook? Heather admits she was the hook the entire time. I know, she admitted that. She admitted she was hooked the entire time. She says she was serving and protecting Esme like the police does it for citizens. Will Esme give birth with the help of her one-handed psycho father? He's a doctor, so I guess why not? Great recap. And you know what? Guess what? No, it ain't gonna be Ryan. Although, wasn't Ryan, didn't we discover he was a pediatrician? But guess what? Pediatricians don't deliver babies. So yeah. Let's see. Ron says, I might be wrong, but I think I know the real hook killer, and it's not Heather. Alexis' friend, the professor, is the only one I can think of to have access to old typewriter. No, remember, Alexis said she called Darkham, and they said Heather definitely had access to the typewriter they had there, and it is an old-fashioned typewriter like that. He told her something, and the same words were in the letter the hook sent her. Yeah, no, the warden said that Heather had access. Hello there says, I have sensed for a while that something was strange about Gregory. Yeah, they just haven't told his story yet. He always seemed nervous about when the subject comes up. Is Alexis going to suggest to Jordan that Heather is the hook or someone else? Well, Alexis is going to say it's Heather. It would be great if Gregory somehow turned out to be connected in some remote way to the hookings. Yeah, we shall see what they may try to do with that, but I don't think so. I remember Gregory being nervous when they found Diane. Why, you'd be nervous too, a lady laying on the ground in a garage. Alexis had to beg him to help. I'm not saying he did it, but maybe there's a surprising connection somewhere. And yeah, at least remotely. We shall see. By the way, with his son Finn, maybe he had access to snake venom from the Marian Islands and sold it on the streets. I don't know. We're getting a little bit wild with that. I love the surprise. I love for the surprise to happen. It would remind me of the police commissioner Burt Ramsey turned out to be the mob boss in 1986. That was a great story. Stephanie says, that would be interesting, but there's more than one hook. I think there was more than one, or for sure they just changed it because the hook was left-handed. Heather's right. Heather being one of them. Ryan and I believe Mason hooked Ava. Stephanie says, I believe Ryan did his fair share of hooking. And then the great Victor Newman was responding to Stephanie. Ryan isn't the hook. Mason definitely hooked Ava for knowing about him in Austin. Ryan only hooked redhead nurse Ratchet to save Kevin's reputation from the invader. You know what? I don't remember that at all. And the great Victor Newman, I could tell you, you must like The Young and the Restless. That's why you took that YouTube handle. Sherry says, I thought that from the start, but they threw me off when Diane said that the hook was a woman. Yeah, I agree. He's involved somehow. Pamela says, I still think Robert's ADA is the hook. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, I don't think the ADA's hooked. They haven't showed her in forever. But anyway, everybody, thank you for the comments. Thank you for Comment Corner. I will be back tomorrow. Let's see what happens tomorrow. The next episode of General Hospital.